Hello, family, and welcome to Put Me in Coaching Live. I am excited to be here tonight to talk about a core concept. And that core concept is core strength. So, this is going to be a little bit shorter class tonight, but very, very powerful, just like your core workout should be quick, but powerful. And I think this is a concept that sometimes gets overlooked when we think about the importance of core strength in our day to day activity. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is the simple things, and this is a concept that's been coming up for the last couple of weeks, and I've had numerous conversations on this. So that's why I wanted to talk about it tonight, because it's such an important thing. We think strength training, we don't always think core strength training. And there's a lot of movements within strength training that work your core. Okay? So as a power lifter, it's very important that I have a strong core. But it's not just me as a power lifter. Core strength is so important for every single person. And why is that? That's simply because when you have a strong core, you are way less likely to have an injury. Does that mean you're never going to get injured? Absolutely not, right? We step the wrong way, we turn the wrong way sometimes, and stuff happens. However, when we think in terms of things like falling, especially as we age, and we're thinking long term here, right? Because our goal is long term health. And so while we may not be at the age where falling is a concern necessarily, if we prepare for it now, we don't have to worry about it when we get to that age. But what we can also do is we can encourage those around us, like our parents or grandparents, that and we can educate them, right? Give back. That's one of the 7-step signature 7-step processes in the system, right? And so when we can educate people on the importance of core strength, you're going to see less injuries. You're going to see an improvement in lower back pain. Okay, I was in the car last week for I think 12 hours. It was 6 hours one day and 6 hours the very next day. Right. And a lot of times people say, gosh, that always makes me stiff. It leads to, I'm just sore. But because I have good core strength, I don't necessarily have all of those symptoms all the time. And that's kind of been a byproduct of my powerlifting. I've learned the importance of core strength. But when we talk about in terms of falling, people are way less likely to fall when they can keep their balance. And how do they keep their balance? They have a strong core. They're able to stand up straight. And when we practice that good posture, we have less back pain, less leg pain. Sciatica is known to improve with core strength. Now, does that make it completely go away for everyone? No. But it can help. And so I think this is just such an important concept that a lot of times gets overlooked. And so, what do we do for core strength? Okay. There's a million different ways you can train your core. And so, the important thing is you start where you are. Okay. So, don't try one day to just go all out and do 100 sit-ups and a 5-minute plank hold. And you see what I'm saying? Start where you are and you can gradually increase. There's a lot of, and if it's tough for you to be on the floor and do core exercises, we'll look up exercises that you're able to do standing or sitting in a chair. You can start with your planks against the wall. So there's so many different things that you can do. And that's really going to improve your overall health, because when you have that core strength, you're going to feel better. Your energy is going to be better. You're going to be able to walk long distances without aching necessarily, because your core strength is there. Okay. And then even just day-to-day movements, picking up groceries, carrying in a case of water, um, loading and unloading a dishwasher, or loading and unloading the laundry, just simply picking up your kids or picking up your grandkids. All of those things are going to be a lot easier when you have sufficient core strength. Okay. And I think it's just very, very important that you focus on the core strength first, and then all the other stuff can come, because the other stuff is going to get better when you have your core strength on point. Okay. So, and if you look at typical workouts, right? Any workout plan, any workout program, they do add core into there. And I think that's a lot of times, though, it's added at the end. And so people will just turn it off before that part happens, or they don't necessarily always finish the video. And so that's just a concept that a lot of times gets overlooked. And it doesn't take much, right? 5-10 minutes a day of core strength training, and you're good to go. And there's so many videos out there on YouTube. There's an exorbitant amount of resources to increase your core strength. But the key is just do something. And the reason I wanted to bring that up today is because I've been hearing a lot of people, and I just had a conversation about 20 minutes ago with one of my best friends about how her back was so sore just by going on a 6-mile walk with her husband the other day. She's like, I'm still sore. And this was several days ago. She's like, I've got to get back into lifting. I've got to get back into really training, and I got to work on my core strength. So the concept continues to come up. And when you think about it, that also allows you, as people age, you've seen the shuffle that people do. People shuffle their feet. Well, because they can't pick up their legs because they don't have the core strength to do so. And so, and then they also start to lean forward and hunch over some, right? Because they don't have the core strength. And so that's why I wanted to touch on that tonight, because it is such an important part of building a solid foundation for a completely healthy lifestyle change. Core strength is so important. All right. And I've said that enough. And so, what I want you to do, I want you to look at, this is going to be our call to action here, if you will. Okay. I want you to look at, what are you currently doing for your core strength? All right. Are you doing core exercises regularly? Maybe you're doing yoga. Maybe you're doing Pilates. All of those are phenomenal. As a matter of fact, that's how I get a lot of my core strength work in. Okay. What is it that you're currently doing? And then what is it that you've done in the past, right? Maybe you're not doing what you used to do, but what did you used to do? And then where are you at right now? And then where do you want to be in 30 to 60 to 90 days with that core strength, right? And then I need you to come up with a plan of action. What are you going to implement daily? Remember, 5-10 minutes a day. What are you going to implement daily to really hone in your core strength? All right. I know for me, when my core strength started to increase, again, my lifts increased in powerlifting, but I just felt better, right? I no longer have the low back pain. That's not an issue. And a lot of times I drive a lot, or I sit a lot with what I do. And so, but I have the core strength. Okay. And also, um, so what is it? Where do you want to be in 30, 60, 90 days? All right. Do you want to have less back pain? Do you want to have less leg pain? Do you want to have more stability, more balance? All right. What does that look like? I want you to quantify it. All right. What does that look like? And as you start to work on your core strength, your blood flow is going to be better. Your inflammation is going to go down. You're just going to simply feel better because everything is able to work a little bit better. All right. So that is our key takeaway for this week is core strength. I told you this was going to be a short class. I want to make it as long as a core workout should be, right? 10 minutes. So we are good to go. I will see you back here next Sunday, 7 p.m. But I want you to really focus on and send me what you are going to work on for your core strength this week and where you want to be in 30, 60, 90 days. All right. So I will see you all back here next Sunday, 7 p.m. And I will see you on text messages in the meantime. And don't forget, our app is coming soon. So I will reach out to those of you who need access to the app, and we will get you on there. So, all right, I will see you all back here 7:00 next Sunday. And until then, I will see you on text messages or phone calls. Have a great night.